Today on the channel, in honor of my new book, The Complete Guide to the Original San Francisco Toymakers ECW Figures, we're counting down for 50,000 subscribers, my top 10 ECW OSFTM figures of all time.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for an extra special video, as today we're celebrating 50,000 subscribers to this very YouTube channel. Got to give a huge appreciation to each and every one of you guys and gals that watch and follow the channel and have subscribed since day one, or even if you subscribe today. Really do appreciate the support over there. I can't believe we're at 50,000 subscribers. Now the long road to 100,000 begins. We'll see in about 8 years from now, maybe, something like that. We'll see what happens. But a lot of fun over the last 5 years on this YouTube channel. Check out the 5-year anniversary special edition video on this channel for all kinds of announcements. Announced my brand new weekly podcast I am doing, of course, found wherever podcasts are found. You can also watch the video cast right here on YouTube. So shout out to, of course, the brand new Kyle Peterson Show podcast. Make sure you rate, review, all that kind of fun stuff everybody else tells you to do. It's kind of all Greek to me, but they say, hey, it really helps if you give it a 5-star in your podcast platforms. Gets it out there to more people. You know how that goes. That should be a fun adventure, a fun journey. My wife, Angie, joining me on that. Special surprise guest, all kinds of different segments. A little bit of action figures as well along the way. A lot of fun over on the Kyle Peterson Show. So that was one of the big announcements for the 5-year, of course. But a bigger announcement, or maybe the same amount of announcements, depends who you are out there. I did announce my new book. Of course, the first book, The Complete Guide to the Jakks Classic Superstar Series, War and Peace in action figure form. A big adventure, a big undertaking. This one, not quite as big of an undertaking, of course, but it is the complete guide to the OSFTM ECW San Francisco Toymaker figures. A moment in time in action figures, especially wrestling action figures. A figure line that I've really had mixed emotions of from the get-go with that one, and we talk about it in this book. But the book, of course, dives into every single series, some of the unreleased stuff, some bootleg stuff, some ancillary things, and a few things along the way. Forward by Brian Myers, salt of the earth out there. Shout out to Brian Myers. Just another labor of love here, but a lot thinner of a book, of course. Almost 100 pages here. A quick read, but a great guidebook to have as part of your collection. Maybe you don't want to dive in and buy the whole collection. Now you can, of course, get this in book form as a nice reference piece, a nice coffee table piece, of course. Softcover and hardcover edition available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Of course, a digital version will come down the line, just like the Classic Superstars one. If you want to wait for it, wait for it. I'd pick up this one personally to have in your collection. And of course, if you want an autographed copy, some people do. Yeah, they do. If you want an autographed copy, reach out to me. Of course, you know where to find me. TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. Social media, whatever you want to do. I am going to buy up a bunch of the hardcover, soft covers to have for autographs. And if you do buy from me, I do have this nice bookmark that goes with it that'll go with some of these people that want to buy these. So there you go. I also got a nice Kyle Peterson Show sticker while supplies last, of course, on both of these. But I will throw these in with the purchase as well. So if you want a soft cover, hardcover, reach out to me. We'll work something out. Appreciate all the support so far on the book. A lot more to come as well, but a labor of love if there ever was one. All part of the 5-year anniversary celebratory nature of this channel, of course. And like I said, this one is the celebratory nature, as this is the top 10 for 50,000 subscribers. We're gonna count down in this very video my top 10 favorite figures from the OSFTM line and talk a little bit about them. So without further ado, let's get after it. But of course, let's do this list like we do all the other lists on the channel. This is my list, so it's 100% right. Your list could be 100% right as well. Of course, start at number 10, work your way to number 1. Number 1 being your favorite ECW OSFTM figure of all time. So without further ado now, let's kick it off at number 10. All right, we begin the countdown, of course, at number 10. And number 10, we kick it off with the Human Suplex Machine. But this one, we go to ECW OSFTM Series 1. we go to Taz. And the OSFTM line, of course, love to get the most out of their molds, but this is the most iconic Taz of the line in Series 1. One of the cornerstones, one of the pillars of ECW, no doubt about it. Of course, later on did go to the WWE, as we do know. But it looks cool. Now, OSFTM have their certain style, and we'll talk about that probably throughout this video. But this Taz definitely looks like Taz in its own ECW style or OSFTM style right here. But a perfect figure to do suplexes with. They got this thing lined up. Comes with that dreaded chair, that theater chair, I guess what it would call there. But a very, very fun figure. And as I said, a pillar of the ECW history, record books, you name it. One of their greatest champions, Taz, coming in at number 10 in my top 10 list. Next up, we're at number 9, and number 9 could be my favorite performer from ECW in the entire history of ECW. This guy caught fire in the late 90s, carried that to this day, you could still say, and he still wrestles a time or two every once in a while. Who's coming in at number 9? Well, once again, we're going back to Series 1. We're going to Mr. Monday Night. We're going to Rob Van Dam. And much like Taz, a lot of RVDs in the ECW OSFTM lines over the years. This one, maybe not as flashy or as cool as some of the other ones, but something about this one stands out, and I guess being the first one of the line is a little bit specialer as well. It was the first ever RVD figure. Since then, we've had a lot of RVDs. It's maybe not as special, but this one is so cool, still cool to this day. Love to have him in this line in the multiple different looks, of course, but the first one, always going to be the most special. That's why this comes in number 9. We're feeling great at number 8. We're feeling homicidal, suicidal, maybe even a little bit genocidal. Once again, going to Series 1 for number 8. We're going to Sabu. Sabu, an amazing, amazing figure, much like the last two, used in a lot of different colors, but you'll always remember your first ever Sabu in the green tights, looking good. Got the sash, you got the tape around there that says Sabu, just in case he forgets who he is. Very cool, though. One of the all-time greats of extreme high-flying action. As a kid watching ECW, Sabu just blew me away, changed the way I thought about wrestling in a lot of ways. And a guy, especially in the Attitude Era and beyond, that really stuck to his gimmick, didn't talk forever. A lot of us said, what does Sabu sound like? It was just wild hearing his voice for the first time eventually. But man, oh man, a cool figure. And still, once again, going back to Series 1, the first incarnation, extra special on this one. Sabu, Series 1, coming in, number 8. The countdown carries on to the number 7 selection. Number 7 selection is a bit of a deep cut in the entire original San Francisco Toy Makers ECW line, but a favorite performer of mine when I first came across him as part of the Blue World Order, then going into just straight up Nova, even later on into Simon Dean. Who do we got at number 7? Well, we do got Nova, a very cool performer, one of those guys that really flourished in ECW and got a lot of name brand recognition over there. And like I said, changed his ways, went over to WWE, became Simon Dean, which wasn't terrible in all honesty, but I'll always prefer Nova or, of course, Blue World Order, Hollywood Nova as well. But a cool figure, one that doesn't get enough publicity, I guess. Of course, we've talked about Sabu, RVD, and Taz, guys that have multiple repaints in this line. It was one and done for Nova, and a bit of a deep cut in the grand scheme of things, but a fun one, a popular performer for me. Nova comes in, number 7. Climbing through the countdown this time at number 6, and number 6 is one of the most underrated performers of all time. I think he got on a lot of people's radar of his time in ECW. I remember him back as a kid, of course, being from the Midwest, him being in GWF, Mr. JL once upon a time. But as I said, he really came to stardom, of course, his time in ECW. Coming number 6, we're going to Series 4. We're going to Jerry Lynn. Unbelievable talent, unbelievable nice guy, and a fellow metalhead, of course, Jerry Lynn. From the state up north above me is Minnesota, of course, and now a member of AEW in the backstage arena. Definitely a cool figure, definitely a cool performer, definitely an ECW iconic wrestler. Love, love, love Jerry Lynn. That's why he's coming in here at number 6 on the top 5 countdown. We've hit the halfway point of the countdown. You got your list together? Put it in the comments down below. And don't forget to hit the links down below to pick up the book based on this toy line, if that is your thing. But here we are at number 5, and much like Jerry Lynn, another performer that really came on the radar at ECW, took his tales and took his wrestling ability elsewhere. He did leave ECW, headed to WCW, of course. During the invasion angle, went over to WWE, has his own training school, or had his own training school for quite some time, worked with TNA and all points in between. One of my favorite performers, maybe lacking a little bit in personality. That was always the dig against him, but an amazing, amazing performer. And of course, a member of the Triple Threat once upon a time. Who's at number 5? It is Lance Storm, Mr. Canada himself. He's from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And we got multiple Lance Storms in the ECW OSFTM line, but this is the iconic look. The white and red, when I close my eyes, this is what I think of him as. I think of him this part of Team Canada with one Hacksaw Jim Duggan over there in WCW. You got a flat top you could set my grandma's watch to as well. Just a fun performer, a fun figure, just a cool one here. Coming in at number 5 is Lance Storm. The final 4, I guess it is still kind of March Madness into April Madness, so why not? But we're at the number 4 selection and another pillar of ECW, a performer that got around to other federations over the years, but 99.9% of the people, they think of this performer with ECW. He bled and drank buckets over his time in ECW. And this one here, we're going to series number 5. We're going to the Sandman at number 4. A huge missed opportunity to give him a Singapore cane. Luckily, other toy lines have made that, so I did get the cane with him. The kendo stick. It'll always be the Singapore cane to me, but the kendo stick, of course, would have been a great addition for this one. But even without it, fabulous to get a Sandman. One of the cornerstones, pillars of ECW, as I do say, and one of those guys that when people think of ECW, he is one of those names that come up. And I'll never forget, enter Sandman, him drinking the beer, bashing on his head, sharing it with people, smoking a cigarette even sometimes. Man, a moment in time if there ever was one. Sandman, an all-timer, coming in here at number 4. We keep working our way down the ECW OSFTM countdown. This time, we're at number 3, and number 3 is an all-timer, one of the greatest wrestling minds of all time, a guy that's been pretty much in every single federation at one time or another, but like a lot of people on this list, found a home, found an identity in ECW, and took that other places throughout the years. He was a guy that even went to the big leagues and then even came back to ECW. He enjoyed it so much. Who are we talking about, number 3? Well, we're talking about the Raven. Quote the Raven, nevermore. And Raven's had multiple figures over the years from the ECW. This one being part of Series 4, of course. But fabulous to get Raven, his first ever action figures. Of course, we got him from Jakks. Would love to get a Mattel version, maybe a Pinnacle version in the future from Zombie Sailor Toys. Who knows, but so cool to have him in this ECW line. There's a lot of cornerstones, and we've talked about numerous times throughout. Raven is another one of those performers. That angle and that feud, that years-long feud with Tommy Dreamer, something extremely special that we just don't get anymore. Just a fabulous figure to go along with it. The other one's not half bad either, just not part of this top 10. But this Raven is amazing, coming in at number 3. Dangerously close to the top spot. We're at the number 2 selection in my top 10 ECW OSFTM figures of all time. And the number 2 one, I'm going to call this one the sleeper of the entire line. And there's so many eras of ECW I absolutely love, from my tape trading days, from me getting a satellite dish in my room for just me, paying with it with my grocery money working at a grocery store, to all points in between the TNA eras, even the invasion eras of the WWE over the years. There's a lot of cool moments. There's a lot of special moments. But when I think of ECW, a lot of time I go to this performer and his epic feud, and my buddy and I being kids in high school just absolutely eating everything up. I love this performer. He loved Masato Tanaka. So whenever these two squared off, we were always jarring back and forth. It was just great memories of my childhood. Who are we talking about? Of course, Series 5. Mike Awesome. Now, like I said, the sleeper of the line, left ECW not under the best circumstances once upon a time. Of course, the former champion, but I loved Mike Awesome. Absolutely thought he was game changer. I remember going back, watching some of his Big Japan stuff, when he had face paint as the Gladiator, of course. But him and Tanaka changed wrestling for me and my buddy as a little kid. We could not believe what we were seeing. These guys were just beating the absolute snot out of each other, crazy power bombs over the top rope. It just didn't seem real, and we're so desensitized all these years later to a lot of stuff in wrestling. But man, once upon a time, catching lightning in a bottle, one of my all-time favorite performers, Mike Awesome, coming in as the sleeper one of this countdown, in at number 2, which means there can only be one. What is my number 1 original San Francisco toy maker ECW figure of all time? Well, stay tuned. We've hit the top spot, the #1 ECW original San Francisco toy maker figure of all time. And once again, get your list together, put it in the comments down below. Put it in order, that's the hard part. That is the fun part. And don't forget to buy the book while you're at it as well. But here we are at #1. I've said it numerous times. I'm going to say it again because it's my list. I can do it. Cornerstone, pillar of ECW is this performer. And if you ask me to what is ECW, what performer defines ECW for you? If somebody handed you a figure, in this instance here, that just says ECW, what would that be? And for me, very easy. Now, I love the Terry Funks. Oh my gosh, you know I love Terry Funk. I love Raven. I love Sandman. I just talked about how much I love Mike Awesome. I love the Blue Meanie. I love Stevie Richards. Give me Dancing Stevie Richards. Give me Superstar Stevie Richards. I love all that stuff. But there's one performer, there's one guy that is so iconic, so equals ECW day in, day out, and to this day really feels ECW. And I've met this performer numerous times, talked about our mutual love of Terry Funk. I got to hear all about the Terry Funk funeral from this performer. Just a great guy all around, always nice to my kids as well. Who is the definition of ECW? Who is the #1 selection? Well, it is from Series 2. It is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Tommy Dreamer. That's ECW to me. You hand this edition of Tommy Dreamer, that is ECW. Not a lot of cool shenanigans going on with this one. Not colorful, no face paint, nothing like that. It's just a guy in some black pants and a black ECW shirt. That's the heart and soul of ECW. He bled buckets and emptied his wallet for ECW as well. Absolutely love Tommy Dreamer as a person. Love him as a performer. Love his figure here. Not the flashiest figure in the line by far, but this is the definition of the line to me is the ECW Series 2, Tommy Dreamer, and he takes the #1 spot in this top 10 countdown. So there you have it, my top 10 ECW OSFTM figures of all time. Once again, put your list in the comments below. Once again, don't forget about my book, available on Amazon and, of course, Barnes & Noble. All kinds of stuff as we dive into the entire line, the unreleased, the bootleg, the ancillary stuff, you name it. A quick read, but a great companion piece. And once again, if you want to hit me up. I'll get you the bookmark autographed if you want to. I'll autograph the book if you want to. I do got the Kyle Peterson Show stickers as well. Either way, however you do it, I do appreciate the support on the book. And I appreciate the support on the channel as this does be the special video for 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you guys and gals once again. And of course, don't forget, we're not done here. We got countdowns every single Thursday. We got a lot of videos to come. Don't forget to follow. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my other YouTube channel. Check out my brand new podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, wherever podcasts are found. And of course, here on YouTube as well. Check out the Patreon for early access to everything we do, including the podcast. SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, and now on TikTok. So for the top 10 ECW figures and my new book, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
We're going to